Guys have been wearing boots almost as long as we've had feet. The oldest known reference to boots is in cave paintings over in Spain, which date back all the way to like 15,000 BC. Actual boots have been recovered from ancient Persia from around 3000 BC, tombs in Egypt from like 2000 BC. In ancient Rome, boots were worn by the ruling class to represent military power. Native Americans wore boots. Cowboys and the early settlers of the US back in the good old Wild West. Soldiers from every era, basically from the beginning of time all the way to current day. Boots still being one of the most popular ways for guys to cover up their grippers. Point is, boots are awesome. My wife has about 930 pairs of shoes in 20 different colors, 76 styles and heel variations. For me though, and I feel like most of you guys would agree, you can cover all your bases with a pair of flip-flops for when it's hot, a pair of sneakers for when you need to work out, and then maybe a few pair of boots will handle basically everything else you could ever need. I reckon unless you just collect shoes and boots just for the fun of it, with only about, I'd say 4 different types or categories of boots, you can have your foot game squared away for years to come. Now for the different categories we're going to talk about today, I'm going to show you all one particular brand of boots because these are my favorite brand, but these categories could really apply to any brand of boots. I guess it's been probably close to a couple years ago now that I discovered a little company out of the Pacific Northwest called Nick's Boots, and they have rapidly become my favorite boot company of all time. And that's because they are handmade boots right here in the good old US of A. I talked about them briefly in my Christmas gift guide about a month or so ago, and I called them Forever Boots, and that's because they are made of super high quality, tough materials, and I'm pretty sure they'll outlast a freeze-dried Twinkie, which I think are eternal. I mean, the planet will be gone and there will be freeze-dried Twinkies floating through space. So, you know. You might wear out the soles of these things eventually, but the uppers or the boots themselves, these things are tougher than a $2 steak. You'd be hard pressed to wear these things out. But hey man, I'm just a guy that wears boots and has an opinion. I love them, I know what good quality looks and feels like, but if you really want a detailed breakdown of why these are some of the best boots out there, go check out a video from a channel called Rose Anvil, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll link the channel below. He goes deeper than your doctor at your colonoscopy into the technical kind of boot nerd reasons of why these things are great. My dude even saws boots in half to go over the different construction details of what makes a good boot good and a boot. He does a great job though, definitely worth a watch. Now before we get the ball rolling on this, I do want to throw out a little warning. I'm going to be throwing more love at Nick's in this video than a hippie at Burning Man with a fistful of Molly. So if that kind of thing offends your delicate sense of retail morality, well, you know, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. But for the rest of you guys, tuck in. It's gonna be a good one because in like 40 years of wearing boots, these are some of my favorites by like a long shot. Before we start the old Nick's Love Fest, I will say you're probably gonna have a longer break-in period with these than you're used to. When you first get these guys, they are stiffer than a sailor on shore leave, but that's because of the thick quality material they're made of. After a couple weeks, they soften up, they feel great, and they fit like a glove. But for the first couple weeks, you're gonna look a little like you're auditioning for The Walking Dead with the Frankenstein zombie walk. If you've never shopped handmade boots, you might also get just a touch of sticker shock. You could honestly buy cheaper boots, but they need to be replaced way more often and then you end up spending the same amount. It's kind of that whole buy once, cry once thing I preach about a lot on the channel with buying quality stuff one time. I know some of you guys, some of you sneakerheads out there, I'm not picking on you guys, but you know who you are. You will drop $600-800, hell, even thousands on a limited edition pair of Nikes that you're afraid to crease or get wet that are made by 10-year-old kids in China. So all things considered, these things are actually kind of a bargain. Possibly one of the most versatile boots out there, in my humble opinion. Every guy should have a pair of mock toes. Mock toe boots, short for moccasin, are easily identified by this U-shaped stitching pattern here across the toe box. There's a few different ways these are made. Probably most common way you'll see is they take two separate pieces. This piece out here and the top piece is two separate pieces, and then it's stitched together, which makes this. Nothing wrong with that method. A ton of popular brands use that method. NYX, however, they go with a one-piece design. So this whole part is one piece, and then this is just bunched and stitched around here, which from what I understand is a harder way to do it. You have to specialize machines, but this has got to make a kind of more durable boot, because even if the stitching wears out, your Flintstones aren't going to be hanging out of a hole in your shoe because this is all one piece. Mock toes often rock the wedge sole, which is super comfy. It's great for if you work on hard surfaces all day. They give you a little more even weight distribution, and there's a little more surface area, surface contact area on the ground, which gives you better traction. This particular pair is called the Mock Toe Pro, and it falls within the Builder Pro series from NYX boots. The Builder Pro from NYX is kind of their, I call it their workhorse, their entry point. If you're only gonna have one pair of boots, I'd say something in the Builder Pro category are probably the most versatile. Ton of different boots, different configurations with heels, soles, boot height, leather types, colors, toe options, including some with steel toes and different types of hard toes. NYX site can be a little overwhelming if I'm being honest. I mean, you could probably make thousands of different types of boots with all the different configurations. So it can be a tad overwhelming. And that's the price you pay for having truly custom boots. Whether you're in construction, heavy equipment, logging, tree work, whatever, the good go-to. The mock toe also looks pretty damn snazzy with a pair of jeans if you're heading out with the missus. For my whiskey guys out there, I would consider this like the Wild Turkey 101, maybe Maker's Mark or Buffalo Trace of boots. Good, everyday, versatile workhorse. Probably one of my favorite types of boots. Next we have something that they admittedly have overlaps with the last boot a good bit, but they're more casual category, less work boot category. Still a very versatile everyday boot, but these have a heel and a rounded toe, which is a very different look and feel. Some might call it like a traditional service boot or a military style boot, probably one of the most versatile style boots out there. They're just a damn good looking boot, and they only get better with time and age. You can wear them casually, everyday situations, but you can also church them up a little bit, and they look really nice with a pair of jeans, maybe even a dress shirt, a little blazer if you need to look a little more GQ. These particular ones, probably the oldest pair of NYX boots I have. I've had these for a couple years now. These are called the Americana, thick 6.5 ounce USA tan leather. This one is in Predator Orange, one of my favorite colors, but you can get these things in 100 damn different colors. Solid brass hardware, 6-inch boot here, which I think is kind of the perfect height on a boot. It's high enough that it gives you like good ankle support and protection, but not so high you feel like you're in an S&M dungeon and a gimp's about to walk by on a leash. Bring out the gimp. Vibram 430 soles, but you can again customize these with multiple options, including leather soles if you want to dress them up a little bit. Classic round toe with a cap, which I really like the cap on the toe. I think it just adds a nice little bit of detail. And as with pretty much everything from NYX, these are obviously rebuildable and resolable. Just a banger of a boot. For my whiskey peeps out there, this one is something like maybe an Old Forester 1920, maybe a Woodford double oaked, Wild Turkey rare breed. Still a good, just everyday option, but a little step up, a little classier, in case you need to dress things up a little bit. Whether you actually work on a ranch and ride horses, or just want to live out your wife's fantasies of looking like Rip from Yellowstone, giddy up, because every guy needs a pair of Western or cowboy boots. I don't know what it is. There's just something about a good pair of cowboy boots. They have a kind of big dick energy. That's the only way I could describe it, that other boots don't quite replicate. These guys are just as comfortable on a ranch doing work covered with mud as they are kicking it around town. You can find Western boots made from everything under the damn sun. Fish skin, ostrich, snakes, alligator, kangaroo, I mean, all the way down to traditional cow and stuff. Basically anything. So Western boots really cover a ton of different styles and occasions. The ones we are looking at today, however, are from NYX, and these are called the Palouse Western boot from NYX. As with all their stuff, they're a fucking peach. shrunken bison lowers from Law Tanning in Milwaukee, uppers in Predator Orange from Horween Tannery in Chicago. Again, with the Predator Orange, I just really like that color. This pair has Vibram soles on it, which makes them great for a work boot, has good traction, but they offer them in several soles, just like everything else. So if you want to go the traditional leather route, whatever tickles your pickle. By far, and I used to ride horses when I was a kid, these are by far the nicest boots I've ever owned though. Cannot wait to break these bad boys in. I haven't been wanting to wear them too much until I did the video because I wanted them to look kind of nice and new. I cannot wait to break these things in. As with all high quality boots, once they get broken in, they are just like butter once you've had them on and they get a little older and some wear on them. Especially this shrunken bison. I've never had anything in this. I mean, damn. That is just a good looking boot. On the site, this configuration is called the ranch hand on Nick's website. The amount of work it takes for Nick's to make these does mean they have a limited amount they can make per month, so you may have to wait until they open the site up for orders, but from what I understand, they do open the site up about once a month, and I personally think they're worth the wait. Just badass. If I was comparing these to a whiskey, I would say these are like the Wild Turkey Long Branch, maybe a Garrison Brothers or a Still Austin. A great boot with some of that Texas swagger just to kick it up a notch. If the Western boot is Still Austin, this next one is like a Macallan 18 single malt, maybe a George T. Stagg if you're a bourbon guy. Last but certainly not least, every guy needs a good pair of dress boots for when you have to full send that James Bond dapper situation. Honestly, because of what I do for a living, this is the boot I wear the least, but for some of you guys, this may be a daily driver. If anyone in the world has a very casual lifestyle with little to no need for formal wear, it's your boy here. I wear t-shirts probably 250 plus days a year, with the remainder of those days being covered with just a flannel. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of my wardrobe. But it's my opinion that every man, regardless how casual your lifestyle is, should have at least one or two nice suits, a few dress shirts, and some nice shoes or boots. Everyone has the occasional wedding, funeral, or other formal event they have to attend, and you don't want to roll up looking like the dude. If you don't know who the dude is, please either unsubscribe immediately or go educate yourself. Please do that. Actually, don't do it right now. Finish watching the video, but after the video, go educate yourself. It's a classic.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This pair is called the Brandle 1964, and these are by far the nicest of anything, shoe, boot, anything that goes on your feet I have ever owned. Brandle is a sub-brand of Nick's. It is their high-end, throw every bit of ninja boot-making skill we possibly have into a line of boots. Basically, a boot nerd's wet dream. Get in here for this, for you boot nerds. Let me just, it's a little something for you here. Available in Wicked and Craig stuff, gallon calfskin, or extremely limited quantity of the coveted Horween shell. JR oak tanned leather outsoles and rubber dovetail heel caps with brass nails, full calfskin lined interior, brass accents with the eyelets and bottom nails, and of course, the signature solid brass plate, inserted and sanded to shape into the leather heel stack. Oh my God. The most gangster accent I have ever seen in a pair of dress boots. Thomas Shelby himself would be proud to rock a pair of these bad boys. Hell, they even come in individual little bags to keep them from getting dust or damage. These crazy nice shoe trees in here with the brass, I mean, they're so damn nice. I'm almost afraid to wear the damn things. They're super nice. Nevertheless, every guy needs a nice pair of dress boots in the closet. So that's it, folks. I think with those 4 categories of boots, you pretty much have everything covered you would ever need. You don't really need anything else. If you're into that stuff and you want to buy 120 pairs, have at it. Great. I have a bunch of guns behind me. Nobody needs this many guns, but I like them. I also have a whole wall of whiskey in the other room, and nobody needs that much whiskey. So who am I to judge if you want to buy a bunch? But the point of this video is, with these categories, you have all your bases covered. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and got some good info. Big thanks to the folks at Nick's for making this video possible. As always, I will have everything linked down below. So if you're in the market for some new boots, definitely go check out the boys at Nick's and give those guys a little love. They are doing some awesome stuff over there. If you did enjoy this one, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next video. Cannot wait to break these things in. These are the boots I've worn the most. I've had these for a couple years, and by the way, they still look like brand new, and I love these boots. They're great, they're comfy, but I am super pumped. Cowboy this bitch up. Damn, that's a sexy boot. If boots could be sexy, that's a sexy boot.